Yeah, it's it's interesting that that element of problems.
Yeah.
You see it specifically if you obviously if you work in business, you see the fact that everybody's got a job to do and everybody wants to take care of that job, and that's fair
Mm,
enough.
mm,
But each job is linked and connected to many other jobs,
yeah.
and so there's not just one thing happening
Mm,
at at one point in time. I see this specifically on the internet. If you try to have a conversation with somebody, it's almost impossible to have a conversation
mm,
with anybody on the internet. Everybody has an opinion and a perspective and kind of believes that their opinion and perspective is the only right way.
mm,
It's a real art to communicate properly with people and to deal with their issues and their problems and their needs. Um,
mm,
especially as in one aspect, people are dealing not just with their own needs, but with the needs of everybody around them and the needs
mm,
of their company as well. And it's very it's it's very hard to do that, especially when people are very often unclear and they don't take criticism constructively. And sometimes you can give a person an answer to a question, but they don't really seem to understand
mm,
what that means to them. So yeah, it it's hard to get everybody on the same page, which is part of what training and team building is about. It's about getting everybody on the same page so they can all communicate effectively with each other
mm,
because everybody's got a different world with different problems that they're trying to deal with, and to get them all working together, it's sort of like a military exercise. You have to give everybody the same focus or the same goal and get them collectively working towards it in a way that helps each other. It's very hard to do. Yeah, it's interesting how the very often a person's job role is not everything that they have to do.
yeah.
And a lot of learning comes from when you take information from one area and you put it in another area.
Yeah.
And this is the control and the flow of information specifically through companies that the the marketing department can't really function without understanding what the customer service department has to deal with
Yeah.
because they have the frontline contact with people and their problems. And the number of companies that don't have a clear channel for feedback related to customer and client problems is
Mm,
incredible.
mm,
That you would expect most organized companies to have a clear channel where if somebody had a specific problem with a specific product, they could use this system, whether it's by email or by chat
mm,
or through Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media system you want to use or something independent. Um, you would expect that the the company would want feedback so that it can tailor and orientate its products to the needs of people at the end of the line. But
mm,
I think we've all had that experience where we've bought a product or something and not been happy with it, but not had any way to feedback or express our dissatisfaction or unhappiness with whatever product that is, whether it's food or a tissue product, or whether it's some electronics, or whether it's even like a book, or I'm surprised with a lot of video game companies that you're working in the digital sphere in real time with a product that you can change in real time. And if there's a problem with something, there's no clear channel for expressing the problem at all, except as far as I can work out, Facebook forums where people get together and discuss something, or they complain about something, or they let off steam, or they get angry about something and they write about it there. But the inability to directly share problematic elements, which is information, which is useful, which is what you need if you're, say, marketing or trying to sell something. You need information, and it's the distance between the company and its ability to provide and the customer is huge sometimes. And in that space, I mean, it's difficult sometimes to transfer information between two people who are working together, and maybe you're talking about hundreds of people in a space, and information very often doesn't get through to the other side. I'm just surprised at companies' lack of effort to reach out and connect with people, or companies expecting people to, we say, jump through hoops in order to get things done. Let me give you an example. So I did a search today on a company and the amount of news and marketing that they've posted in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. And you would expect a big organization to have a marketing department that at least filtered out some kind of information on a daily basis, especially due to the size of the organization, the number of people working within the organization, the global reach of the organization, and the initiatives of the organization. When you've got so many people working, doing so many different things, all of them important, you would expect marketing, which is content creation, to be able to filter that in a positive way to both the people in the company and to clients and customers. And for 3 weeks, there's been nothing. Yeah, it's more than 3 weeks. There's been no official media publication by the company. What is the media and marketing department of the company doing if there's been no publication for 3 weeks? I mean, that's first of all, what kind of communication is that with the public and the customers, and what kind of brand management is that? And secondly, what kind of communication is that to the employees of the company? It's basically saying that nothing has happened in the company for 3 weeks, when every day there are people working between 8 to 12 hours a day to get things done for the company, or at least should be working those hours. Yeah. And there's a huge number of people, a huge amount of resources, and zero information about anything. And you've got research, you've got production, you've got distribution, you've got sales, you've got administration, you've got training, you've got all these things and departments and areas and probably lots of stuff I don't know about going on. Management, and there's nothing.